Okay, so good day to everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Either way it goes, we are about to go into the weekends. Happy Friday to you all. I hope this week has been good for you, definitely. We are about to go into the weekend and come out on the other side into a Monday that will lead us into race weekend. And so some things that I've been wondering about is how good is Mercedes really? And I say that for what may be the obvious reasons, aside from the 3-year slump of poor car development, is that even when Mercedes managed to get onto a progressive path, I won't even say it just like a great path, a progressive path. They made some changes, saw some results. Cars seem to run a bit better, but cars seem to run a bit better within certain situations and environments. And so that's where my concern comes in with Mercedes. Is Mercedes developed, or have they changed to the point where, what's going on, Miss Dino? Have they changed to the point where this car will perform not only across a wide variety of circuits, but across a wide transitional change of environments, temperatures? Okay. We do know Mercedes did not run well in warm temperatures. And as it sits right now, we got some events earlier in the season than we had later in the season, which means we're pretty much in spring, about to encroach upon summer very soon. Already here in the States, on the U.S. side, East Coast side, it's already running 70, 75 plus degrees. Within the next month, we'll start touching 90 degrees. And so some of these things that are happening would cause me to wonder if Mercedes' performance will fall off. At this point in time, George Russell has managed to secure 2 podiums, 3rd place, and I don't know if that's going to continue. But I can tell you that it will for a short-lived time unless said things have actually changed. So if we look at some of the forecasting weather coming up for Japan and Bahrain, we'll see that Japan doesn't look like it'll be an issue aside from the inclement weather that is forecasted, 90% rain on race day and intermittent rain with clouds on qualifying day. So the main thing to look at there is that weather situation tends to give us a very murky picture of what may happen for any team or driver. But even more so, look at the temperature. We're talking about 13, 15 degrees Celsius. So we're not talking about any more than 70, 74 degrees. That's not very hot. Mary Beanie in the super chat. Good evening, Jay. Music to my ears. That's what they get for mucking Lewis about ripping. Rest in peace, James Bell. Ferrari bringing new floor in Japan, Woody will cry. And that's something else that we also will get into, Mary Beanie. Ferrari bringing a new floor. And that's pretty monumental already this early in the season. By round 3, we've had about a week break, not even a break, a week off, and they're already going to bring a new floor. And I would hope, Maria Duncan, what's going on? I would hope that if Ferrari is bringing that new floor, as you can see in this picture right here, Charles Leclerc behind George Russell, that they understand what they're doing, because let's also be very honest here. Bringing a new floor, it can go either way. I know that we're hoping that it progresses, not even for just Lewis Hamilton, but for competitiveness in the league. So right here, we do see 15 degrees Celsius. So I don't think Japan, if it's a clear day, is a problem for Mercedes. We're talking about much more cooler weather than what they just came out of in China. In China, it was 80 degrees, and 80 degrees is still not even hot. 80 degrees is pretty comfortable, including track temps. And before that, Australia was around 73, 74 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 degrees Celsius, and then again, 27 to 28 degrees Celsius in China. But as we get into Japan and then Shakir, this is where I think things are going to get very challenging for Mercedes. I think things will get very challenging for Mercedes by the time we hit round 5, okay? By the time we hit round 4 and 5, which we know Bahrain and Saudi, which is Jeddah in a very high-speed circuit, I think this is where we're going to see, have Mercedes actually fixed their heating issues that were dampening their performance. Notice that right now, for the time being, the weather is forecasted to be partly cloudy, but clear of rain, 11%, 27%. You can still live with 27% and not have to worry about it, right? But we're talking about now being an air temp of 33 degrees. 33 degrees is going to put us at that 90-degree mark, not including track temps. This is where I think we start seeing if Mercedes have actually fixed the problem. I think this is where we're talking about 30 degrees on race day. I think this is where we're going to start to see if they've actually fixed that right in here. All right. We're talking about 30, pretty much 90 degrees, 90 plus degrees throughout the entire race weekend. So we're going to see all the way from free practice, second, third, qualifying in the race if they have. Now, when it comes to round 4 in Secure Bahrain, they're kind of the hottest day right now is on the first practice, FP1. After that, the temperature starts coming down. Have they been in somewhere 29? They haven't really been in that temp yet, but close to it, because in Japan it was 27 to 28 degrees Celsius, which is around 80 degrees Fahrenheit. And we saw in Japan that they collected a 3rd place. Now, I will say this. If history repeats itself, okay, just not even if history repeats itself, if similar conditions yield certain results, then if we see those similar conditions, we can kind of expect those similar results. Only thing that would change that is if Mercedes have isolated, found out why they were underperforming in hotter conditions and fixed that. Now, we know Russell went for the gap, literally went for the gap. Okay, I hope he doesn't do that, because anytime you wish for a driver to have an incident, you're talking about a driver potentially risking their life. But if we go back to last season in Saudi, we will see that at the Jeddah circuit last season, with 3 degrees less temperature, that George Russell did not manage to secure a top 3 finish, let alone a top 5 finish. He finished behind Alonso. And we're talking about it was 30 degrees track, 25.3 degrees Celsius, 66 in the humidity. We already know this can be, it's not like Singapore, but this can be a very demanding circuit. It's one of the highest speed circuits on the calendar, and they didn't perform well there, okay? Mercedes as a whole. So we're talking about 3 more degrees increasing here in temperature. You can also expect, if you're talking about 25 degrees air temp, you got another 5+ degrees in track temp. If we're talking about 33 degrees in air temp, now you're talking about 38 degrees in track temp. 38 degrees in track temp is going to put you it's going to put you in a very sticky situation. It's going to put you in a very sticky situation, because you're talking about with 38 degrees, another one of those, you're talking about almost 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I think this is where we see if Mercedes have indeed fixed their issue, the problem that they were having. I think this is where we see if Mercedes have developed over the break, come in with the W16 that does seem to have improved performance. Russell right out of the gate, round 1, round 2, having 3rd place finishes, making a podium finish. Antonelli, as far as in a rookie, although some of his positions are awarded spots because of disqualifications or judgments on situations that have happened on track, still he was there in order to capitalize on those situations. And I think as a rookie right now, he is by far one of the better performing rookies outside of just looking at the car. I think we've seen a lot of rookies right now making mistakes that have nothing to do, I don't want to say nothing, have little to do with the car. We also know going into Japan, the big story of the weekend next week is going to be Yuki Tsunoda finally getting his opportunity in a Red Bull car. We'll be paying attention to that. I want to put on your radar Mercedes and their continued performance until my expected date or my expected round, which is round 5. Now, remember, also keep in mind, I do want to say this. I also want to bring this up. Keep in mind that last season, Saudi was in round 2, I believe. I believe Saudi was round 2 last season. Okay, I'm gonna look it up, just check. But I know it was earlier in the season. All right, which means it was earlier in the months. Technically not as hot as it should have been, but I do want to say that it was earlier in the season. All right. So if we look at last season, Saudi was round 2. We're talking about Saudi now being round 5, several weeks later. That 33 degrees air temp or track temp, 38 degrees track temp, 33 degrees track temp could very well be 33 degrees, which is what I was trying to say earlier, 33 degrees air temp, and then around 38, 39 degrees track temp. All right. Excuse me for that mistaken error, but that's what I was saying. I mixed them up. All right. Air temp, track temp. So we're talking about a nice difference here of 3 to 5 degrees earlier in the month. I think that this is why they're also looking at ticking that up, but I do believe that it could be even a bit hotter. It's possible that we could see 28 and 38 degrees track temp on this day, depending on how the weather goes. So these conditions, in my opinion, create a challenge for Mercedes in Saudi. Until then, they're still going to be in slightly cool weather in perspective to what I would think that they're going to have an issue with. So I don't think we see, if their performance is attributed to cooler conditions, I don't think we see Mercedes really being challenged on that until Saudi. And then that's where we'll see if they've actually improved themselves. Because when they go to Miami, that's going to be another thing. In Miami, it's going to be hot. Should be hot in Miami around the time they get there. So all these things, very interesting. All these things are things I'm thinking about. I want to know. I want to see various teams. We also will be talking about other teams, but this week, the news and the talk of the town has been Yuki, Red Bull, Liam Lawson. And now that we got a little bit of a breather from that, I wanted to talk a little bit about Mercedes and some of the things that I'm kind of expecting and seeing from them. The next video, we'll probably go into talking about Ferrari and see what happens and where that goes with them. So I do hope that everybody is having a superb day. I can't stay on here too long. A lot of things going on right now, but I did want to come in and have a conversation with you all. Also, I will say this, that the giveaway right here, all right, Galactus hit me up. The giveaway right here for Jesse James Bell gave me 2 of those, and I decided to give one away. I was going to give 2, but I'm keeping one because my brother is falling. I want to keep one and put it up on the wall here somewhere as just remembering him regardless. And I really appreciate him getting me that wheel as well. He got me that and some other things. So other things that I plan on putting up here. I got some pretty cool, awesome pins. But yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to limit this to family members only. And I'm going to do another giveaway for super chats, which will include everybody. But I only feel it right that this eventually goes to somebody who actually knew Jesse James Bell, talked around him, saw him in the super chat, always was here. So we're gonna limit those to a certain amount of people or time span within the family. If you've been a member, and I'm going to go back and look, but regardless, don't worry. I'm going to do another giveaway that somebody will get, and that will be open to everybody. Now, do keep in mind, I'm a little bit skittish when it comes to shipping international because a lot of different things have happened during the international shipping, and we got a dumbass as a president in the United States. His name is Donald Stinking Effing Trump, and he is beyond an idiot, as well as Vance is an idiot, as well as many of the things that they're doing that are not only racially toned, discriminating toward women, also trying to erase history, erase black people from several iconic and historical things that they've done in this country, trying to basically take this country back and create a chaos between good people and human beings, not even just Americans, just good people and human beings. How about we start there? So tariffs everywhere. So we'll see how that will work. But don't be mad if things just don't work. I'm always trying to do things for us to have a good time and just keep it in good sport that most channels don't even do this, right? Most channels don't even try to give back to their community when you all tune in, watch videos, share videos, comment in the comment section. So just please keep it positive if things can't be done and we have to spin and do something else. All right, I'm just trying my best to find a way to get back to you all within means. Trust me, the things that I'm going through right now are not only tough, but they are very expensive. So we will see. We got a race weekend coming up. Hopefully it's a good one. Hopefully there's a lot of interesting things we can take from it and talk about it. We will kind of be on the same time frame, and I will be trying to mitigate my circumstances and my body and my situation so that I can be present for majority of that weekend, if not all the main events we talk about, qualifying, the race, and so on. So just know that if I have to go a little later, a little earlier, or not at all, then just understand and work with me, okay? Be patient. Big shout out to you all. Wolfpack out. Peace and love. See you soon.